Up first, a classic, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. I loved this book. It's all about vulnerability, how to transform, and how to be courageous, how to dare greatly. I think this is such an important read for people, especially if you have problems with like showing up and being yourself and being confident in who you are. This is a really great place to start. Any book by Brene Brown, I highly, highly recommend. I think she is just like such an expert in this field of kind of self-help, self-growth, self-development, and really learning to love yourself and trust yourself and honor who you are and show up as that person. So highly recommended this one from both me and my therapist. Up next is another classic, A Bell Hooks, All About Love. This one is fantastic. I have read it multiple times, and something that I love about this book is how it touches on all of the different components of love, from honesty and clarity and grace to things like values and community, and that romance is only a part of this discussion. I think when we think about love, we always think about romantic love. Maybe we think about platonic or friendship love, or maybe like the love that a parent has for a child or vice versa, but so rarely do we really think about all of the components of love together. And I think All About Love does such a great job about helping you reimagine and re-envision what loving yourself looks like, but also what it looks like to show up in love to other people. And it has completely changed the game on how I show up for myself and for others. I think I talked about this in the 10 books that define me video, which I will link on the screen, but it is just so, so good. Another one that I recommend along with my therapist. Next up, we've got another favorite of mine, What Happened to You by Bruce D. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. This one I highly recommend actually listening to on the audiobook. I think that Oprah does such a good job with this, and it's in conversation with Dr. Perry as well. And it is such a healing book. It talks about trauma and resilience. And I think one of the most important things about this book is that it goes from asking what's wrong with you and why you were behaving that way to what happened to you. And I think that's such an important question to ask, instead of being like, what's wrong with you? Or like, why are you doing this? Like really digging into what happened to you, because something happened to all of us. Something traumatic, something that has caused us to be resilient, to be strong, has happened to every human being. And those things affect us. And it is so important for us to ask what happened to us, instead of putting all the blame on us as if it's something inherent that's wrong with us. No, that's not to say that there aren't like inherently bad people in the world. I do think that's true. But I also think that a lot of the bad and the evil that exists in the world is because of traumatic things that have happened to people. So I think this book really turns kind of that concept on its head, which I really, really appreciate. Another favorite, The Body Keeps the Score. If you are wanting to heal from trauma and feel like it has a physical manifestation for you, this is the book that you need to read. It not only goes into like neurologically what happens, but also it goes into steps that you can take to heal from trauma and to heal your body from trauma, which I thought was such an interesting thing, because my anxiety and depression really have physical manifestations. And that was something that my therapist and I really talked about. And she recommended this book to me because of that. And I think that it is like so validating to read a book that says like, yeah, you've been through trauma. So yeah, your body has a reaction to it. And here's some things that you can do to kind of recalibrate your body. So really loved this one. Think that it is great for anyone who wants to heal their body from trauma. Next is this sweet, sweet little book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is such an important book. It is short and sweet, but the 4 agreements are to be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always try your best. I think that this book is just so amazing. It, I think, is like 100 pages or so, but it made such an impact. Like, I almost bought a copy of this book because I don't know what happened to my original copy, but I don't have it anymore. And I almost picked this one back up because it is just so fabulous. I think it's super simple in concept, but the way that the author dives into each of those 4 agreements is really, really enlightening and makes it super easy to apply those things to your everyday life. And I actually think that I want to go back to this book and really practice and get back into the habit of those 4 agreements, because I think they just are a simple but impactful way to live life. Next up, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, a guide to reclaiming yourself. Now, this one I really loved. On the back, what it says, to end the struggle, speak up for what you need, and experience the freedom of being truly yourself. This is the Boundary Bible. Now, I have not read this one, but I think I need to pick it up along with the 4 agreements, because I think boundaries are so, so important. It means that you know who you are and what you want and what you desire, what you believe in, what's important to you. And it also helps you establish stronger relationships with other people so that they can show up in ways that make you happy and validate and support you, and they know how to interact with you as well. I think they just change the game in relationships, and it's something that I'm definitely working on, how to set like really healthy boundaries. So gonna pick this one up. Maybe you will too. Let me know if you do in the comments. All right, last but certainly not least, the Self-Love Workbook for Women. I have actually done this workbook twice. I think it's that important. It is so cool. It is just like all these different activities and quizzes and things for you to fill out. It just really helps you get in tune with who you are, loving yourself, what you're good at, what your strengths are, and how you can eradicate self-doubt and have more self-compassion for yourself so that you're really showing up into the world confident and knowing who you are and really believing in yourself. I cannot recommend this one enough. So much so that I've done it twice, and actually considered picking it up again to do it a 3rd time, because I think it's just something that you need to revisit as you kind of build these habits and heal and grow. It's not like one of those things like you read one book and you're like, oh, okay, I am a healed being now. Like, no, you're human and you fall back into old habits and bad habits, and it's important to continue to learn and grow and develop yourself. And so I hope that you found some books in this video that will help you do just that. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed your time, and I will see you in the next one.